When did you decided to implement strength and fitness into your regimen? Why was that so major for you out of everything else you could have done? You got your college degree, but what sparked the strength training and the fitness routines?
Absolutely. And that's a great question. I can talk about this forever too. So when I was about 37, I started to notice differences in my body and in my mind. And I couldn't explain it. I was like, what's going on? Right. Oh, a friend of mine said, okay, I'm at that age group too. I'm feeling the same way. There's all these studies that say how good strength training is. Let's just go. And I said, right, what am I going to pay by trying? Right. So I started with body pump, group cycle. I was a group cyclist for a little while, and I started to see the mental and physical benefits of doing that type of thing. And that's what really started to spike the fire for me to say, okay, what more can I do? I want to continue to get stronger. I want to continue to feel better physically and mentally. And what can I do to do that? And that's when I started getting into powerlifting specifically.
You mentioned something before we wrap up. You mentioned something, and I 100% agree with that. I've been an athlete pretty much all my life. I know what it's like to get up and get to the gym. I know what exercising and especially strength training, especially with women. Women need to strength train. Powerlifting is cool too, but I'm more like, okay, you need to, you still want to be a female. I don't mind strength, but yeah, I agree. You need all of that. How bad was your mental getting before you started to get into the gym?
It was pretty bad. And I would love to go back and slap myself at the very beginning. So let me just say the one biggest regret I have when I started this, and I will hate myself forever for not doing this, is I did not take progress pictures at the beginning because my mindset was so bad. I said, nothing's going to happen. I don't care. Right. And
Yeah.
now I look at it today and I'm like, holy crap. I was so dumb. I doubted myself to the point that I didn't even do something as simple as that.
What about your husband? Men usually stay quiet when it comes to answering questions with women and their appearance. It's on their mindset. We kind of just, don't say too much. What was he saying? And when you got into the weight training, when you started to change, did he come forward and say, you know what? I saw you needed this, but maybe I should have spoke up earlier. What was that like for you? Because you're married.
Yes, I'm very much married. My husband's actually very vocal about what I look like. But at the beginning, he was super patient because he said, I know you've had children. I know it's going to change, but I'm hoping that when you feel comfortable, that you look forward to finding a way to be physical again. That's basically what he said to me. And I said, okay. And so when I started strength training, he said right away, you look fabulous, right? I can tell the difference in you. You look fabulous. Now, when I started lifting heavy, that was the point that he told me, maybe you're going a little too far. And that's the dynamic that we're in right now of me saying, I love this and I'm never going to stop. And him saying, don't go too far. And so that's our current balancing act
Or
that
do
we're
you think
playing
he's
right now.
asking you? Think he's asking you not to go too far? I'm just curious.
No, that's okay. So I think he sees a lot of women that are incredibly buff, that are on Lord knows what, that are incredibly buff, right? And he thinks I'm going to turn into this big buff lady. I don't think he understands how hard it is to do that, right? So he'll be fine.
Where do you go from here? Where do you go now? Where do you go now?
I'm hoping my voice gets louder and louder and louder because I'm not the only woman that that will benefit from this, that needs to have a voice to say, you know what, you've been home for how long? There's still an end. There's still life. There's still a part of you that's there.
You
But
you
how
mu-
can you find? Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
you must be speaking from experience, and what I mean by that is other women must have been talking to you in your ear for you to come on this show and talk about this. So this isn't an isolated situation. This may be worldwide. There's other women that feel the way you do, and men that feel the way you do. That they
Absolutely.